Hey everyone, another relaxing afternoon, drinking my sorrows away. My alma mater got handed its ticket home last night in the Sweet 16, so thought I'd just relax and try and get my mind off of it. Anyway, if you look here, you can see that looks like I'm putting together a collection of Mission First Tactical's minimalist buttstocks, and I wouldn't blame anybody for thinking that way, but about 2 weeks ago I did a buyer beware kind of video where I was pointing out the fact that there are a lot of bogus or offshoots of the actual buttstock on eBay and being sold as MFT stocks, and I was going to do a little more in-depth discussion on it, and out of all things, I got a package in the mail, and what was it? It was another MFT stock. If you recall from my last video, I filed a claim saying that it was represented as a MFT stock, and in fact it was a Chinese knockoff, so my money was refunded and I was not even asked to return the stock, so I had a free stock and my money. And I was completely shocked when a package came yesterday, as I said, and it's another one, and I didn't even pay for this. It's like joining the Mission First Tactical clone club or something. Anyway, I'm going to try and do this as quick as I can. I wanted to just kind of point out some things that you could look for if you do purchase a Mission First Tactical stock on eBay. One of these is an actual true stock, and the other two are not. And you can see how closely these things resemble the actual item. These are, I mean, right down to the functioning of, you know, the spring tensioner, and okay, so I mean, at first glance you would be hard pressed to see what is actually a bogus one or a real MFT stock. So let's take a look at a couple of things that jump right out, or at least for me they did. The first thing, obviously, as I said, is the package that it arrives in. Now, some people selling used true stocks might not have their original package, so if it's listed as a used stock and no box or packaging included, then you got to kind of take it on faith that the guy is being honest. So that being said, if you receive a stock in a box, as I got this one again, generic brown box, and if it says made in China, you know that it's not a true deal. So that's your first clue. But if it doesn't even come in that, then you've got to kind of look at some other things. And oops, sorry about that. I was going to get there's some telltale signs of the bogus ones and the real one. So for practical sake, this is the real MFT, and this is a bogus one. Now, if you look at the emblem on the back of this stock, you'll see that the bogus one has a sheen to it, almost like, well, it is, in my opinion, something that the rubber backing was made, and then they used a, like a branding with the Mission First logo on it, and you can see there's a sheen to it, whereas the real one is molded into it. It's much deeper and textured than the fake one, and you can see there's no real sheen to that at all. It's just a dull logo from Mission First. So pretty easy to distinguish the two on those. You see that shiny gloss there? I hope it's coming through, but yeah, that's not a real one. Also, on the bogus ones, I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up, but you can see the mold marks. There's one there in the corner. There's one right there at the bend. See the little round marks. There's one up here. Probably hard to see, but from the mold, they didn't finish off the product properly. So if you look at the real one, you can see there's no, they've finished it off. There's no telltale marks from the original molding. You can see. Put them together, stabilized, you can see. See, up in the upper left-hand corner at the bend of the stock, you see the round circles from the molding, and on the real one there's none. Also, if you look at any of the stamps, or like you can barely make out what it says because it's such a shallow stamping, whereas the real one is actually molded in. And you can see it's much as, BMS MIL, so it's mil spec. Okay. You can see that, where the BMS mill on this one is barely visible. Pretty easy to distinguish between the two there. Right. Again, on the other side, you have the logo in the center, or on the front of the. Sorry about the poor lighting, but I'm trying to just make it as visible as I can. Definitely embossed in there MFT and the logo, right? And on the bogus one, definitely easier to see the difference. It's almost invisible. It's kind of like just barely stamped in it. So very easy to tell. The quality is subpar. And finally, the one that I pointed out in the first video on bogus is that generic ones, as I call them. I mean, they just don't. They just rattle around, okay? And then they're actually, I'm probably getting too many returns based on that, because I noticed that the one that I just got in the mail yesterday is a tighter fit, but it's still, you can still rock it, right? Here, but it is much tighter than the first one. And then the actual one is, you know, no question there. You can't even budge it any way you do it. So a number of things to look for if you get a eBay MFT buttstock. It's you know, there's a lot of people out there just trying to make a buck, and they'll do whatever they have to whether it's right or wrong. So it pays to watch your due diligence and double check everything when it does arrive. And fortunately, eBay stands behind the buyer in almost any case, and if you get a bogus one, they'll get your money back, and maybe sometimes you'll even get to keep the stock included in the deal. So hopefully I've pointed out a couple of things to look for when you purchase one of these. Anything that's popular in the gun industry is going to be duplicated and sold on eBay as the actual item, and it really isn't. So you got to just keep an eye out. Anyway, I got to go drink some more of my sorrows away. You guys have a great afternoon. Have fun. Be safe.